Hey guys, Mapletail here. Welcome back to Rants and Draws, the series where I talk about warriors and, well, draw. Today we're taking a look at the preview for the upcoming book, Thunder. Big spoiler warning. And drawing Squirrelflight and Ivypool. Before all that, I just want to let y'all know that I put some designs up on Redbubble. So far, most of my cat timber drawings are up there, available as stickers and pins. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in checking those out. Let's get into it. The previous book, Shadow, had a hell of an ending, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next, especially with Frostpaw, who we left bleeding out, and Squirrelflight, who is on her way to becoming leader of ThunderClan, finally. We start with the prologue. It's a classic StarClan prologue. We see a conversation between the first leaders of the clans, talking about a dying she-cat, presumably Frostpaw. The cats reveal that Frostpaw was never meant to be a medicine cat, and that things have changed, and StarClan needs her now, as she's the only one who can save RiverClan. Seeing Riverstar again after just finishing his Super Edition gives me a whole new attachment to him, and I'm excited to see what role he will play in the arc going forward. And I know he's right that Frostpaw is strong enough to do this, though after all she's been through at such a young age, I wish she didn't have to be. We start chapter 1 with Frostpaw, exactly where we left her, bleeding out on the moor. She struggles to survive through the night, awakening to an unfamiliar cat, the blood on her throat dry. After the cat tries to help her, she recognizes her as Whistlepaw, WindClan's medicine cat. How about that luck? Well, honestly, she deserves it after all the horrible luck she's had recently. Whistlepaw treats Frostpaw the best she can, but urges her to come to WindClan for proper help, to which Frostpaw refuses, too afraid as she doesn't know who her attacker was. Frostpaw is probably right about her survival depending on said attacker thinking she's dead, as much as I'd love for her to go with Whistlepaw. Chapter 2, Nightheart. I am so not looking forward to ThunderClan this book, aside from a potential Squirrel Star. If you've been keeping up with my Starless Clan reviews, you'll know that I'm furious that another she-cat had to give up her whole life for some boy who wore her down with his affections. I just want better for Sunbeam. She's great and she deserves a story that reflects that. Anyways, we learn she's settling in well. And that Sparkpelt says she's glad Nightheart has found a mate willing to switch clans for him, 'cause he deserves it? What? I'm just so frustrated at this whole situation. Can we go back to Frostpaw now? And one protagonist books? That said, it's nice to see everyone in ThunderClan being kind to Sunbeam so far. Massive contrast to the ShadowClan reaction, though a bit surprising. ThunderClan usually has as many naysayers about taking in new cats as any other clan. In exciting news, Squirrelflight and Bramblestar are preparing to head to the Moonpool, Nightheart being asked to accompany them. While it seems like a choice only made so we can watch this journey, I am glad we'll be getting to see it. Just please, please, please let nothing go wrong. At least if it does, we'll know right away. It would just be incredibly cruel to dangle Squirrel Star in front of us like this. It was great to see Sparkpelt and Twigbranch cheering her on though, while most of the clan worried. I was very pleased when Squirrelflight announced that Ivypool will be the next deputy of ThunderClan, if all goes to plan. I think she'll do a good enough job, and I'm honestly just happy it was a she-cat. There are enough Toms running things. On the trip to the Moonpool, Nightheart worries about Sunbeam being alone in ThunderClan, but reminds himself that his kin aren't like Berryheart, and don't think switching clans is wrong. Hello, Nightheart? Your family was beyond furious when you switched clans. Just thought that was funny. Like, he was just talking about how angry they were when he left a few paragraphs ago. And him thinking that Tigerstar seemed wise and reasonable when he was with ShadowClan? What world is Nightheart living in? Tigerstar is many things, but reasonable is not one of them. Thankfully, the cats arrive at the Moonpool without issue. We don't yet get to see if the ceremony works, but I feel like they're setting it up to. Though it does make me nervous that Ivypool was named deputy beforehand. Why do this if things were all going to go to plan? It's a bit unusual. And I was happy to see Nightheart supportive of Squirrelflight, with all their issues in the past. Chapter 3. Unless Squirrelflight returns later this chapter, I imagine this will be the least interesting or important part of the preview. Makes me wonder what kind of cliffhanger we will be left with here. After a successful hunting patrol, Berryheart barges into camp and yells at Sunbeam in front of everyone. Most of what she says is trash, but I hate to admit I agree with her on one thing. How could Sunbeam leave ShadowClan for a cat who abandoned her? It's a fair point. Being with Sunbeam wasn't enough for Nightheart to give up a home that he didn't even like. Why should Sunbeam have to give up hers? She even admitted she'd have trouble if she had to fight her former home. It's just frustrating and unfair. It was lovely to see so many cats stand up for her though, especially Nightheart's kin. That is one thing Sunbeam has gotten that she deserves. A family that respects and appreciates her. Hopefully it lasts if this really is the route we're sticking to. We end the preview with Sunbeam doubting her decision to move to ThunderClan, which should make me happy as I believe it was the wrong choice, but I have my doubts anything will come of it. And it certainly shouldn't be because of Berryheart. I'm sure she'll live happily ever after with Nightheart, and I'll just have to deal with that. Thanks for watching. Despite my grumbling at certain writing choices, I am looking forward to reading the rest of this book once it's released. I cannot wait to see what happens with Frostpaw and her story, and everything going on in RiverClan. And I am looking forward to probably seeing Squirrelstar with Deputy Ivypool. Let me know what your thoughts are on the preview if you've given it a read on the Warriors website, and I'll see you next Thursday.